Welcome back. So yesterday I had taken an off because last time when I made a video it took too much of time. So I thought one day off is always good. Taking a break is always good. Whenever we do something and we want to do it well, it's better to take a break often and get in terms with the ups and downs of doing something. Sometimes anything that we do, if we can take a break, it's always good, right? So what are we going to talk about today? I was thinking, I read so much about so many things today, so it's all there in my head. I don't know what to talk. So let us talk about the power of social networking. Something that I've never spoken, but I have always had it in my mind. Even when I wanted to get a job, I knew that a job is not just the money that you're paid, it's not the salary that you get. When you're looking for a job, you are looking for a platform where you can connect with people and extend your circle and build good relationships, and influence matters a lot. When you're with the right kind of people, the right kind of people in your circle, it means that from one person to another you have more contacts, which means that depending on who you are as a person and your abilities, you are able to connect from one person to another, and it just goes and it helps to take you to where you must belong. That's the power of social networking. So anytime, you remember I spoke that day about 3 E's, which is education and exposure and experiences. I said that. So in that, when you talk about exposure, I always believe that social networking has the power to work on this part, this aspect of it, which is exposure, and it's like you are building a network. That's why it's called a network, right? From one person to another, it just goes on and on and on, and you can no longer be kept isolated. And that's what we all want. So when I looked for a job, I knew that I'm going to look for a platform where I'm able to connect with people from one person to another, and it takes you from where you are to where you must belong. Always the force of nature works in such a way that whoever you are, that is how I believe that law of attraction also works. It works in a way that it's not like how where you are you become like, you just blend there. It doesn't happen. So who you are, always the force of attraction goes in that direction. It just keeps pulling you like a magnet. So you are, by the guidance of the divine God, attracted to the right kind of people, and it works that way. I believe that's how law of attraction works, and that was my intention when I looked for a job. I knew that we get to meet the right kind of people. That's also one reason why you are so choosy about finding a job, because we want it to be a strong platform, right? To be taken from one place to another, to meet the right kind of people. It works that way, right? So I want to talk today about the power of social networking. In the sense, it's not just about using Facebook or Instagram. Of course, that also works, because even there you are connected with different people, and it takes you from one person to another. What you are, messages always get through this pathway, in the sense from one person to another. If you look back in olden days, people used to get married that way. Yeah, marriages were like, usually when in India, women were about close to 20, they were taken more often to marriages and to functions, and where relatives get together, because that is where you connect with more people. People gather there, they come together, and it is a power of social networking that one person would see you, and one person gets to know about you, and it just goes on from one person to another. It gets passed away, and that was the intention. So when girls, or usually girls, were in their 20s, they were taken to functions because there they get to meet more people, and that is how the alliance also, good proposals come that way. If you are connected with more people, if you are exposed to more people and not isolated doesn't work at all these days. It doesn't work. When you're isolated, you are just pressed on to one particular boundary and you just remain there. Just the opposite of it is exposure. When you just go outside and mingle with people and get along with people from person to person, it is passed on, and you are elevated. You are taken from a place to another place where you must belong. It works that way. So that is the value, that is the power of exposure as well as social networking. Both of these are very important in life. And the opposite of it is stagnation and isolation, where you keep yourself separated from the world and you're not connected with people. You have no good connections, where from a person to person you are passed on, in the sense who you are. That is what pulls you. Who you are is the what do you say, that is the attribute which attracts you to the right kind of people. Who you are, that is what is important. Nothing else matters. It's who you are. That is how I believe the law of attraction works. So what is your idea of social networking? How much are you connected? And don't ask me that question, because I think I am totally isolated, in the sense I have no good connections at all which works that way. But starting from 2023, I have promised myself that I'm going to improve in that area and make new connections, and because I know the power of it. When you're connected with the right kind of people, it is like, for example, if you say A to B, B to C, it just goes on. And if you were at A, you are going to be taken to R, or wherever you must belong. It just happens like that. So if you take that each person is a force that is working towards you, in the sense not towards you, for you, you are just taken with that wind, that force which works from one person to another. That's how it works. So I totally believe in the power of social networking. So what is your idea about that? It is not just the platforms that we use through internet. There are millions of ways. Now world has changed so much. It is not like the days that is gone by. It's not like that we have to be just stuck in a place, as somebody often says. You don't have to be stuck. You can always make new connections and work with the force. Take yourself to where you must belong, and not stagnate or get isolated in a place. Isolation doesn't work at all. People want people who they are looking for. That's how the world works. There are many people who are looking for you. So unless you are planted in places, unless you allow the force to work for you, it is not going to happen. You are just going to be stuck or isolated in a place. And I've tried isolation, and it doesn't work in any way good for you. It doesn't work at all. So you have to be open to social networking. Of course, there are risks in all the areas of life. Can you just tell me a life where there is no risk at all? Like they say, when you're within your comfort zone, there is no risk at all. It's so comfortable. But that is not life. Ships are not made to be put in the harbor. I'm just giving myself some lessons today. Every time I come here and I start speaking, do you assume that I just talk to others? It's not like that. I sometimes give myself lessons. See, you are listening when you're talking. Are you not listening? So it's very important that you talk things that you would appreciate when you listen to it. So talk good words, send good vibes, so that when you listen to it, you know it matters. So sometimes I give myself some lecture and I just share it here. Some of the things that I'm talking is meant for myself, in the sense I need to hear this. Like they say, some people need to hear this, they say. So from 2023, now my 2023 is extended to February probably. I've not started doing it for some reason now, but I promise that I'm going to work on the social networking, and let me see how good it is going to work out. From person to person, where are you going to be taken from when you have a good social network? It's always important that you have connections with people and you are accessible to others. It's very important. Whenever you are isolated, just remember that you are kind of stuck in a place and you have no good relations with others, which means that you are so limited. You have put boundaries for yourself, which doesn't work out at all. You don't want that kind of boundaries. They're fearing the discomfort or the risk that is involved. We don't want that kind of boundaries. It doesn't work for us at all. We want these boundaries to be remote so that you can connect with people and have good social connections. It's very important. The right kind of people. You know what you are looking for. You know it. Nobody else knows it. Your mindset, what is important for you, what are the kind of surrounding that you like to be, like in the sense you want to work somewhere, what are the jobs that you're looking for, what are you particular about. Like when I was looking for a job, I said I'm very particular about the language, which needs to be English, and I was also very particular about the mindset of the people, because I like broad-minded, liberal-minded people. It's more comfortable that way. So all these things are there. Sometimes we share it, sometimes we don't, because we have to compromise on some areas sometimes, right? But anytime you take up a job, we must always remember that we are looking for social networking as well. It is like you are able to meet a person, the kind of people that you like to be with. Who you feel you can learn from, and who also share your values and your ideas, who respect your ideas, who believes in it. That is a kind of group, that tribe that you would like to work for, isn't it? So when you're looking for a job, it's important to remember that it is also a social network platform that you are sharing. I'm telling myself, don't take it like I'm just telling you. It's not about it. Tomorrow I'm going to color my nails and take that video as well. Okay. So my new earrings have come last week and 3 days back, and now it's fixed. It's really nice now. There was some problem with the clasp and I got it exchanged. Now it is okay. So what is your idea about social networking? How important do you think it is to have people in your circle and who understand you, who can relate with you, especially who can respect you for who you are? Respect doesn't mean I'm not talking about the kind of respect that we talk in terms of to bow down or to worship someone. Not that kind of respect. I'm talking about the basic respect, which means politeness, courtesies, where we follow some courtesies and considerations, which is also compromised these days. So you need to have people in your circle who understand you and who would help you to go from A to wherever you must be. Okay, there's some noise and I'm just kind of distracted because of that. So today is a sunny day and I'll be going on a walk today. It's been a few days, 3 days now. I must tell you that yoga actually works. I've been doing yoga from a while now. From the time I had that groin injury and my muscles were weak and I started on vitamin D. It's a story you all have all heard about. But let me tell you, at that time, along with the vitamin D, I started yoga, and some of the stretches, let me tell you, it works magic. It actually works. So if you have any kind of pains like knee pain or neck pain or whatever pain, backache, whatever, so try doing some of the yoga stretches, which is simple. simple in the sense there is effort, and you have to be motivated to be able to do it with consistency. You can do it today and just quit it the next day. It doesn't work out. It has to go on every day, and it's very important that you keep it up every day as a routine. If you can do that, let me tell you, all the pains that you have, it just disappears. And how good is that? You feel like 20 in your 40s. It's really good, right? In the sense, in 20s you never talked about pain as such, unless you were really sick or you had some fever. But otherwise, these muscle pain and leg pain and all, rarely it ever occurs to people in their 20s. Because I remember how active I was in my 20s, except for the lethargy that we have. We like to sleep long hours, and we don't like to attend the college regularly. Some bad habits which usually we have in our 20s. But apart from that, do you ever remember having some kind of aches and discomforts which we usually have in our 40s? It doesn't. I don't know what happens to people when they're 40. Probably it's because the body is used up for so many years, and it just shows up. Your body is already used for 40 years, and that difference is actually there. You can feel it, and it often shows up in the way of muscle pains and not able to do everything the way you were doing in your 20s. That difference is there. So what I'm telling is that from my experience, what I learned in that area is you have to regularly be doing some activities just for your body. Unless you are in an area of your career is connected to dancing or a lot of body movement is there, then probably it's different. But for people who usually sit or who usually maintain a normal routine, for them all these yoga stretches, it actually works. Because I've had all these kind of aches, back ache, because I sit a long hours continuously, and it's not back ache, but a strain which I used to have in the back. It was too much, and I had the muscle ache also, and so many other problems. But all those, by the mercy of God, it's all gone now. And I would just credit. The credit goes to the routine that we have, the exercises which we do, the stretches which we do. Simple. You can find it in YouTube. Even for your neck ache. Sometimes people who use a lot of laptop and who keep using the digital devices, like I use this mobile for so long, and my eye would start to strain, my neck would start to strain, and then gradually it would give you headaches as well. So for all those, there are some yoga stretches which you can do very regularly and manage all those. It would vanish, I'm telling you. It's in your control. The thing is that in a day, like breathing exercises, you'll have to do it very often, and in sense probably four to 5 times a day, because that's important. So that's a small tip I would like to give you, because I am so that is one way of expressing gratitude to God for just helping me through this. So if somebody is going through those difficulties, let me just tell you, you have ways other than just medications to cope with it. If you do it, it actually works. So that's about it. Okay, so we spoke today about social networking, the power of social networking, having good connections, and not being isolated, it's not good at all to keep yourself away from good connections. First of all, you need to know who you are, and secondly, you need to know the kind of force that you are looking for. The force in the sense each human being that you meet is a force. So what kind of force are you looking for? And check on the direction of the force. Like if the wind is in one direction, is that the direction that you would like to be taken to? So that's also important. So as you make connections, it's very important to know the kind of people that you like to mingle with that motive. I'm not talking about just meeting and hi bye and kind of connections that you have. No, I'm talking about the intentional connections that you make in life, because knowing that the force of wind is in the right direction, and that is where you would like to be blown to, taken to. So work on that, and work on social networking. Like when I started, I'm going to share it how it works actually, but as of now, I just hope that it works out for well. Okay, so you have to meet more and more people and make those connections. It's very important. Isolation doesn't work out now in this world. It is over. The time for being isolated is gone. So people who are introverts, they have more problems actually. If you are an introvert like me, it happens that you keep yourself isolated and you don't like to mingle with people. You know there are people, but you don't. You know, that's kind of a bad habit. So if you have that, get rid of it and make new connections. Like 2023, my resolution is to make new connections and keep yourself in the go, because you want to be where you must belong. You have everything that you got for that, but you have been stuck somewhere, you know. So push yourself and use the help of people around to push yourself. It's important. So I'll be back tomorrow with something interesting. Take care and have a good time.